This the fourth day of our debate. I hope they will thoroughly enjoy their short stay here during the course of our debate. And, Mr. Speaker, over the course of the few days since we have started the debate, there have been a number of references being made to the subject matter, which is, of course, our 2017 budget. What is repetitive is, of course, the praises on the side of the government, which doesn't have to do with the content of the budget, but it has to do with it's an early budget, it's a big budget, it's a budget that came before nearly 4 decades, and all of that. And sir, when the Honorable Minister Nicolette Henry spoke about what is good for the goose is good for the gander, I want to express my 100% support for that statement. And if what is good for the cabinet members can indeed be translated to what is good for the Guyanese people, yes, this budget debate will be over. The estimates will pass without too much of a fuss. And by that, sir, I mean, if the cabinet is good enough for 50% increase in salary, then I expect the public servants, our hard-working health workers, our members of the disciplinary forces, our sugar workers, sir, they're also good for 50. You know, they were promised 20%. They were promised 20% during the election campaign. And we were not told that they were contemplating a 50% increase for their salary. If they had known that, sir, I doubt whether the results of the 2015 elections would have been what it is. And, sir, that is why, after analyzing the campaign and the aftermath of the campaign, the post-election period, this country is in the kind of trouble that is in. And all over, sir, our citizens are expressing their discomfort, their disappointment, and of recent, their horror as events unfold, budget after budget. The most recent onslaught, sir, has to do with the taxing of a basic essential for our existence. In a land that is known or is named, Guyana means land of many waters. We are being taxed for water, sir. And what we are being told by the government side is that, oh, we have 183,000 consumers or subscribers to GWI, 155 will not be paying VAT. So everyone will be paying the VAT.
Everyone.
Everyone. Those whose consumption are less than $1,500 per month, they will be paying the VAT, sir. Because most Guyanese, especially all of those who live on this coast, sir, they drink bottled water. And if you drink bottled water, sir, the supplier of bottled water will be paying more than $1,500 per month. And the minister was very clear. He said the $1,500 is not a discount. If you go $1,501, sir, you have to pay on the entire amount. So none will escape. So this argument that is being put forward by the government side that, oh, you will not be paying, it's a fallacy, sir. There is no way any one of us can escape paying VAT on water. Similarly, sir, the VAT on electricity. The VAT on electricity, even if your bill, your monthly bill, is less than $10,000, you will be exposed to the cost, to bearing the cost of VAT on electricity.
Yes.
You don't live in the isolation of your home, sir. Because once you go out there and you purchase any manufactured commodity, the cost of that 14% VAT on the electricity will be in the price of that commodity.
That's right.
So the argument that if you're below 10,000 you will not, that simply does not hold, sir. And Guyanese all over have pronounced on it. It's not the PPP, or it's not people going to Congress. I doubt whether members of the Private Sector Commission will be going to Congress. Members of the Manufacturing Association, the ordinary Guyanese will be going to Congress. And as of today, sir, there is a letter from one Mohammed Khan, not a supporter of the PPP, will not be going to Congress. It's a coalition supporter, sir. In today's Kaichor News it is. This is what he had to say. No need to conserve electricity. GPL is doing it with blackouts. Mohammed Khan. Kaichor News, December 8th. The coalition government is getting away with a lot in the 2017 budget, which was presented in the National Assembly. It offers a crummy yield to public servants, nothing for the disabled and single parents who have to carry the biggest burden on paltry incomes, then repays you with a cheesy VAT increase of 14% on water and electricity. Then it has the gall to tell you to conserve every unit of electricity and every drop of water. We do not have to conserve on these things. GPL is doing it for us with blackouts. When the consumers get blackouts, there is no water. Every day in Essequibo, we are experiencing prolonged power outages. Yet it is this very policy and the budget categories will definitely grossly distort. Sorry, I missed that. And the budget that is perpetuating the crisis and undermining our economy. The new VAT-exempt categories will definitely grossly distort economic performance and result in higher prices for the commodities affected. This is Mohammed Khan, sir. FITUB, Federation of Independent Trade Unions. They're not going to Congress, sir. Budget adds further burdens to an already stricken populace. What is it here? FITUB, having examined the 2017 budget, has come to the conclusion that the government has fallen woefully short of its promise of delivering the good life to all Guyanese. It goes on and on and on, sir. Mr. Speaker, this will have an impact on all of us. Kaichor News, banks still claim foreign currency not in abundance. The headline. And this will definitely have an impact on our economy as the days go by. Mr. Speaker, when the Honorable Minister of Business spoke, he said, sir, that the PPP did not left a sustainable economy. Mr. Speaker, over a decade of sustained economic growth, not 1 or 2, over a decade of sustained economic growth, during a period of the worst economic crisis in recent history. Isn't that testimony of sustainable development?
Yes, it is.
How can a minister of business stand up in this house and say, sir, that we did not leave them a sustainable economy? We just have to look at the record, sir. And if I should quote from an extract of Millennium Development Goals, our achievements, which is also an indicator of how good the country is doing. Eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. What's the market? Guyana met internationally established targets in fight against hunger. Half the proportion of people who suffer from hunger. Reduction of the prevalence of undernourishment from 19.1% in the 1992 period to 5.1% in 2010-2012. And it is even better at least up to 2015, sorry. We might start to go down after 2015. Reduction in the absolute number of undernourished persons. Malnutrition in children under 5 has decreased. Proportion of persons living in extreme poverty declined from 28.7% in 1993 to 18.6% in 2006, and much better by the year 2050. So all these are indications and indicators of what was happening in our economy. MDG Goal 2, achieve universal primary education. Sir, we were told we don't have an educated population. We were regaled about our people not educated to take up manufacturing challenges, not to diversify and all of that. So how can we compete with an energy bill that is in some instances 4 times that of our competitors? And yet when we move to have renewable energy, the size that was never seen before in this part, or at least in the Caribbean, it was slaughtered in this very house that we sit in.
That's right.
And sir, we achieved universal, and this is MDGs, on track to achieving universal primary education, gender parity in education, average attendance in primary school, 74%. Sir, this is 2015, Millennium Development Goals. These are testimonies, sir, that when the PPP assumed office in 1992, they developed this country to such an extent that we were recognized locally, regionally, and internationally. And sir, I was very happy for Minister Holder. Soon after assuming office, Minister Holder traveled to Rome to receive on behalf of Guyana the certification, I think it was for Guyana achieving, from the FAO, for Guyana achieving and meeting the MDGs as it relates to food security. So sir, I'm very happy for the minister. Sir, I'm certain the minister was said that Guyana achieved it. That Guyana achieved it. Sir, it is even more in the rice sector. It is even more of a glaring example of economic transformation that took place. And the Minister Gaskin, the honorable member, should have taken time to look at that. And sir, I was really disturbed when a colleague MP, Jennifer Wade, Honorable Wade, said that the paddy farmers are aware that PPP mismanaged the rice industry. And we received a collapsed rice industry. Sir, I wish to quote the Minister of Finance, Mr. Jordan, as it relates to this particular issue. And to say, this is what Minister Jordan had to say, sir. Budget 2015, a fresh approach to the good life in a green economy. Mr. Speaker, this is the Minister of Finance. Unlike sugar, rice has been an amazing success story. The industry has recorded consistently higher levels of output, breaking the 400,000 ton bar in 2011 and the 500,000 ton bar in 2013. For 2014, rice output attained an impressive 635,000 tons, an increase of 18.6%. So this is the minister, the coalition Minister of Finance. And yet, a member of the coalition can come to this house and say that rice, they inherit a collapsed rice sector. So a similar story is told in sugar. when the target of sugar was surpassed in 2015, what the Minister of Finance said is that it was due to prudent management, efficiency in management. That was when sugar surpassed its target in 2015. In 2016, sir, when sugar did not meet the target, the PPP is to blame for it. The PPP is to be blamed for it. Sir, how can we vacillate so much with our analysis of events as they unfold? We have to be consistent in recognizing that if we are mismanaging and taking the economy downhill, then we have to admit that. Not for our convenience, we say it's bad weather when things don't go good and say it's a PPP. And when things go good, then we take credit for it without acknowledging what was said. So, Mr. Speaker, these are some of the things that were mentioned. Transformative budget. The only transformation we're seeing, sir, is more taxation. We might argue here, and we might want to defend the budget from the other side. Who will be the judge, sir? Who will be the judge? The judge will be our people. The judge will be the Mohammed Khan, the G.K. Lal, the Anand Gulsaran, the Christopher Ram, the speedboat operators, the rice farmers, the sugar workers. Those are the people, sir, who will be the judge of how this budget is going to affect them. So we can stand up here and defend, as one writer put it, I think it's Anand Gulsaran, sir. He said that don't waste time trying to defend the indefensible. Accept that there are some areas that need improvement. Accept that the opposition have constructive criticism to make. Accept that you're not perfect. Engage in consultation and let us move on. Don't try to defend the indefensible. It will not work. And sir, you hear people talking, well, sir, we were told that the budget is crafted, to maintain and enhance revenue stream. It is not only crafted to maintain and enhance revenue streams, sir. It is crafted to tax our people more. Extreme taxation on our people that will result in them getting poorer and poorer as we go along. And Mr. Speaker, there is an abundance of cases that we have to look at. The Minister of Finance, in trying to garner revenue, more revenue, to meet this huge budget of $250 million, or $250 billion, casts his net far and wide to see where is it that the revenues will coming from. And when we were told that the VAT of 14% and the zero rating and the zero exemption of items will not affect our people, the ministers are in looking to garner revenue. If he's a miner, will not go and spin battle at the seaside by Marriott to get gold. He will go into Kanawaruk or Madhya or Marudi to spin that battle if he's a miner. If he's a farmer, sir, the minister will not go to plant rice at Kurukururu. He will probably go to King Grove to get the better productivity if he's a rice farmer. And sir, when the minister sought to put VAT on water and VAT on electricity, it was a studied approach knowing fully well that these are the areas that will garner the most revenue. And that is why in the budget, sir, an amount is not stated. The minister cleverly stayed away from stating the amount that these measures will result in revenue collection. We, sir, conservatively estimate that these new measures will bring in an additional $50 billion to the coffers. Conservatively. And that is why the minister did not put it in the budget, sir, because they want to spin this tale that this will not have an impact on our people. If it will not have an impact, sir, why risk? Why take the risk? Why take the chance of putting it in the budget, knowing very well that these will be unpopular moves? Why would you take that risk if you don't know how much it will bring in? And that is what we are saying, sir, that they know very well, the ministers know very well, the Honorable Minister Jordan, know very well what is going to be the outcome of these new measures that he's proposing. Sir, the productive sectors have not been spared the wrath of this budget. In 2015, sir, rice, in the minister's budget speech, he said that rice will be given $23 billion. And let me quote exactly what the minister said, sir. Page 24. Mr. Speaker, over $23 billion has been allocated in this budget to support further payments to over 7,000 rice farmers. It's a good start, Mr. Speaker. First budget, good start. To date, sir, 18 and a half months after, we're still looking for the $23 billion. But it was a good attempt, sir, in 2015. At least something was offered. In the 2016 budget, sir, nothing much was offered, but at least nothing was taken from the industry. Nothing was taken. And we were not taxed more. 2017, sir, when farmers most need support and help, what we find happening is that they will be further taxed by this government, whilst they have no expectation of getting any support. They will be further taxed by, firstly, nearly $150 million of the farmers' money will go towards some experiment at Wales. It is not going to support sugar workers. Farmers' money, sir, not from taxpayers. This is revenues from the farmers themselves. And I can substantiate that, sir. This is revenues from the farmers. That instead of giving support to the sector, this government is now moving from a position of promising $23 billion to the farmers in 2005, giving nothing in 2016, and now to 2015 rather, giving nothing in 2016, and in 2017, they're proposing to actually take from those who are already on their knees, to fund some kind of experiment to which we have had no consultation whatsoever on. All over, sir, the plight of the farmers can be heard far and wide. And, sir, I was quite disappointed when my colleague Jennifer Wade, who I know for years and has been in the industry for quite a while, did not at least express some concerns about the plight of the farmers in Region 5. Proposal, sir, for Region 5 to increase the burden on farmers. What is the proposal from the MMA ADA, the Mahaika Maikoni Abari Agriculture Development Authority? Charges, sir. Just as we have taxation on the general populace, we have now targeted charges on farmers for drainage and irrigation. We had called on this government by way of a motion in recognition of the crisis in the industry for them to waive the D&I charges, to waive the land rent, to institute some budgetary measures to give support to this sector. That is so vital.
Honourable Member, you will be speaking for 25 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'll probably ask the, Ali is not here to grant me an extension in the spirit of cohesion and the Christmas holiday.
Honourable Member, I do not want to disappoint you. There are no extensions in this debate.
Thank you, sir. Sir, so they're moving now to increase the charges to farmers. Not by 10%, not even by the 50% that they grant themselves. Not by 100%, sir. By almost 400%.
Whoa!
D&I charges in what we call a project area, sir. It is proposed to take it up to $8,000 per acre. The first proposal was much more than that, sir. Almost $12,000 per acre. These are from farmers who are barely seeing their way. This is from an industry that consistently broke the record over the past 4 or 5 years and started to decline under this government. In recognition of their suffering, we are targeting them now for increase in rates. In the cattle area, sir, not rice alone, in the cattle area, the increase has moved from just under $500 per acre to $2,500 per acre. In another area called Van Better area, sir, from $1,673 to $3,500, sir. The Gaisuko lands, Gaisuko is in crisis too, have not been spared the wrath of this hammer coming down on their head, sir. From $1,673 to $2,500. Sir, rice lands in the Marge area, that's the Myconia Barry Rice Development Scheme area. It is moving, the proposal is to move the rates from $1,241 to $7,000 per acre, sir. $7,000 per acre. The right bank Myconi from about $400 to $3,000 per acre. Sir, and that's only for some services, and in a lot of instances you don't benefit from it. Land rental, sir. Rental of lands from $1,000, sir,
Honourable
to
members, Member, there's a distinct disturbance, and I will say, in the 2 front rows, the Speaker will have to assist members to remember the standing orders. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rental, sir, rice land, and this is on top of those charges that I spoke about earlier, from $1,000 to $7,000. Pasture land, sir, there's absolutely no service you get from that. From $200 to $1,400 per acre. Per acre, sir. And sir, I want to briefly mention to you the statistics as it relates to how rice has been doing. Sir, let's say 2012. Production, 422,000 tons. Income, $196 million US. 2012, 422, that's what I call. 2013, 535, production, exports, sir. Income, $239 million US. 2014, 635,000 tons. Income, $249 million US. 2015, export 687,000 tons. Income, $220 million. Sir, this is the beginning of the decline. We export more and we got less. That is the beginning of the decline. And we know which government took office there. Sir, not only the rice farmers, sir, the entire agriculture sector. The minister spoke at length in Budget 2015 and Budget 2016 about diversification into other areas. We have not seen any evidence whatsoever of any impact of the hundreds of millions of dollars that were allocated In the previous 2 budgets, we have not seen any evidence of any development in these areas. Cash crops, sir, have not been spared. We have inspectors going around now. If you have more than 20 chickens in your pen, you're determined a commercial producer of chicken. You have to register for that. If you have more than 1 bank of shallot behind your house, sir, now you're being determined a commercial producer of shallot. Sir, taxation, the point was made over and over. If your productive sector is going to be taxed, then you will not be able to produce competitively. You will not be able to export. You will not get foreign exchange. Our currency is going to come under pressure. Inflation is going to go up. Life is going to become increasingly miserable. We will not be able to trade effectively. And the cry now that the foreign exchange is drying up is because of the policies against our productive, our manufacturing, and our industry, sir, in agriculture and in the other areas. Because if we export less, we will get less foreign exchange.
I remember you will have to wrap up now.
Mr. Speaker, in closing, sir, this budget is so indecent, sir. I will not say withdraw. I'm going to join my colleague, Comrade Damon from the Essequibo Coast, sir, and say to the Minister of Finance, take this budget down to Princess Street, put it in the incinerator, and sir, put it separately. We would not want this budget to contaminate any other product in the incinerator. I would recommend, sir, that the minister do that and come back fresh to this house after consulting with the people on measures to improve their life and to offer to them, sir, what is promised in the budget to give them a good life. The good life for all, sir, not the good life for a few who not only we are paying the VAT on their water,
I thought you
we
were
are
wrapping
actually paying for their water. Thank you very much, sir.